This is the longest squid in the world. The giant squid can stretch up to 45 feet long, longer than a school bus. Everyone knows about giant squids from Kraken legends. But here's what most people don't know. The giant squid isn't the largest squid. Evolution created another squid that, while shorter, is way heavier. Over double the weight. This is the colossal squid, and they're not even closely related. They evolved in completely different oceans, never met, never competed, yet both became massive deep-sea predators. How did evolution build the same giant monster twice? Let's start with what everyone gets wrong. When people hear giant squid, they think that's the biggest squid on Earth. And in terms of length, they're right. Giant squids can reach 45 feet from tentacle tip to tail. That's massive. But here's where it gets interesting. Colossal squids, while shorter, are way heavier. A giant squid weighs around 500 pounds. A colossal squid can weigh over 1,300 pounds. That's more than double the total squid mass. Think about that for a second. Same basic body plan, same deep sea lifestyle. But one evolved to be long and lean, the other evolved to be thick and heavy. And here's what makes this comparison so fascinating. They're not the same species. They're not even the same family. These squids are about as related to each other as you are to a kangaroo. At the taxonomic level, giant squids belong to the family Archaeoteuthidea. Colossal squids belong to the family Cranchiidae, which are actually glass squids. Yes, glass squids. Those tiny transparent squids you see in tropical waters. Colossal squids are technically giant glass squids. The first level of classification they share is their order. Ogopsida, the deep sea squids. That's it. Everything below that is completely different. So, how did two completely unrelated squid families both evolve into massive deep sea monsters? The answer is convergent evolution. And if you've watched our video on polar gigantism, you already know this concept. But this case is different. This isn't just about getting big. This is about two separate lineages solving the same problem with the same solution, independently, in completely different parts of the ocean. And yet, despite never meeting, they ended up looking similar enough that most people can't tell them apart. If this deep sea mystery hooked you, hit subscribe because we're about to uncover why evolution keeps building the same giant over and over again, and what it tells us about the rules life can't break. Here's what we know about their history. Both giant and colossal squids likely descended from a common ancestor, probably a primitive ogopsid squid that lived 60 to 100 million years ago, near the end of the Cretaceous period. But here's the problem. We can't confirm this. Because squids don't fossilize well. Squids are basically bags of muscle and water. No bones, no hard shells, just soft tissue. And soft tissue degrades fast. Within weeks, most of it's gone. What does last? The beak. The only hard part of a squid. If buried quickly, beaks can fossilize and give us clues about ancient squids. But we don't have a complete fossil record. We're piecing together millions of years of evolution from scattered beak fragments. What we do know is that at some point after the dinosaurs went extinct, the ancient ogopsid lineage split into separate families. One branch led to the Archaeoteuthidea, which would eventually produce the giant squid. Another branch evolved into the Cranchiidae, the glass squid family, which includes the colossal squid. And here's where convergent evolution kicks in. Both lineages, evolving separately in different parts of the ocean, both ended up massive. They didn't inherit their size from a shared giant ancestor. They each evolved gigantism independently. Evolution solved the how to dominate the deep sea problem twice with the same answer: get huge. This is textbook convergent evolution. Two unrelated species adapting to similar environmental pressures and evolving similar traits. They're not copying each other. Nature just keeps following the same blueprint because it works. But if they're such perfect examples of convergence, why do they still have so many differences? Here's where it gets really interesting. Giant squids and colossal squids didn't just evolve in different families. They evolved in different oceans, and those different environments shaped them in crucial ways. Colossal squids live almost exclusively in the coldest waters on Earth, the deep Antarctic Ocean. Waters close to or even below 0 degrees C. Because of salinity, the water doesn't freeze at exactly 0, but we're talking insanely cold. And if you watched our video on why Antarctic oceans turn animals into giants, you know what happens in cold water. Polar gigantism. Cold water holds way more dissolved oxygen than warm water. And for any animal, the larger your body, the more oxygen you need. In warm waters, there isn't enough oxygen to support truly giant creatures. But in Antarctic waters at near freezing temperatures, oxygen is abundant. There's no ceiling. Colossal squids grew huge because the cold water allowed it. Polar gigantism pushed them to become the heaviest invertebrates on Earth. But giant squids don't live in polar waters. They're found in temperate oceans worldwide, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Warmer waters, less oxygen. So, how did they get so big? Through a different mechanism. Deep sea gigantism. Deep sea gigantism is the phenomenon where animals living in the high pressure, low light depths grow larger. It's about energy conservation, reduced predation, and stable environments. Giant squids evolve size as an adaptation to deep ocean life, not cold water. Here's the twist. Colossal squids live even deeper than giant squids. Way deeper. They're in the abyssal zone, thousands of meters down. So they're experiencing both polar gigantism and deep sea gigantism. It's a double dose of size-boosting environmental pressure. And that's why colossal squids are the heaviest. They got hit by both effects. So, does this count as convergent evolution if their gigantism happened for different reasons? Yes, with a twist. They both converged on the giant body plan, but the paths they took were slightly different. Giant squids, deep sea gigantism, colossal squids, polar gigantism plus deep sea gigantism. Same destination, different routes. Now, let's compare bodies, because despite being convergent giants, they're not identical. And those differences matter. Giant squids are long and sleek, streamlined, built for speed. Their tentacles stretch far, giving them incredible reach. The average giant squid is about 40 feet long and weighs around 500 pounds. It's the greyhound of squids, lean and fast. Colossal squids, on the other hand, are shorter but way thicker, chunky. Built like a tank. They can reach 30 to 35 feet long, but they weigh over 7,300 pounds. That's more than double the mass of a giant squid packed into a shorter body. They're not designed for speed, they're designed for power. Why the difference? Environment and hunting strategy. Giant squids live in temperate open oceans where prey moves fast. To survive, being quick matters more than being tough. Their long, more aerodynamic body and lightweight frame make them perfect for chasing down fast fish like grenadiers or even other smaller squids. Speed and reach are their entire strategy. Colossal squids live in the Antarctic, where everything moves slower. Cold water slows metabolism. Energy conservation is everything. Instead of chasing prey, colossal squids evolve to ambush, sit and wait. When something gets close, strike. Their thick muscular body helps retain heat and store energy. They don't need to be fast, they need to be patient and powerful. And here's where their weapons differ. Giant squids have tentacles lined with suction cups. Each cup has tiny, saw-like teeth around the rim, perfect for gripping slippery, fast-moving prey. Colossal squids have something scarier, rotating hooks. Sharp, swiveling hooks that lock onto prey and don't let go. They're designed to grab thick-bodied fish like Antarctic toothfish and hold them no matter how hard they struggle. Same concept, different execution. Both evolved grabbing appendages, but giant squids got suckers for speed, and colossal squids got hooks for power. At the halfway mark, if you're realizing just how precisely evolution tailors each giant to its environment, smash that subscribe button. We're documenting every case where nature can't help but repeat itself. Let's talk about how they hunt. Because this is where convergent evolution gets really specific. Both squids evolved massive eyes. And I mean massive. Giant squids have eyes the size of dinner plates, about 10 inches in diameter, the largest eyes in the animal kingdom. Why? Because in the deep sea, every photon counts. Those huge eyes capture the faintest traces of bioluminescence from prey or predators. They're scanning the darkness for any flicker of light. Colossal squids have equally massive eyes, also around 10 inches. Same reason, same solution. Both independently evolved the largest eyes on Earth because both live in near total darkness. Convergent evolution strikes again. And both evolved beaks, not teeth like fish, but hard chitinous beaks like parrots. Why beaks? Because in the deep sea, prey has thick scales or armor. Squids can't chew or tear like sharks. They need something that can slice through flesh while holding prey suspended in open water. The beak solves that perfectly. It's made of chitin, the same material as insect shells, but layered and hardened into something stronger than bone. The beak cuts prey into chunks, and then the radula, a tongue covered in backward-pointing teeth, grinds it down before swallowing. Both giant and colossal squids have this exact same system, not because they inherited it from a recent common ancestor, because it's the best solution. Evolution keeps using it because it works. Even their locomotion is similar. Both use jet propulsion, taking in water and shooting it out through a siphon to move. It's the same mechanism all squids use, but scaled up. Giant squids, being lighter and more streamlined, can probably reach speeds of 25 /. Colossal squids, being heavier, are slower, maybe 12 /, but the mechanism is identical. Here's the thing about convergent evolution. It's not random, it's constrained. The ocean has rules. If you want to be a giant deep-sea predator, you need massive eyes for the darkness, a powerful beak for armored prey, jet propulsion for movement, and long tentacles for reach. There aren't many ways to solve these problems. So, evolution keeps finding the same answers. There's one creature that knows both these squids exist, one predator that hunts them both, the sperm whale. Sperm whales are the only animals large enough, strong enough, and capable of diving deep enough to regularly hunt both giant and colossal squids. They descend thousands of feet into total darkness, using echolocation to find these massive prey. And we know they're successful because sperm whales have been found with scars all over their heads, circular marks from squid suckers, and linear scars from colossal squid hooks. Inside whale stomachs, scientists have found squid beaks, lots of them. The only part of the squid that can't be digested, and those beaks include both giant and colossal species. To a sperm whale, convergent evolution is perfect. The more giant squid species that evolve, the better. More food, more options. But this creates an arms race. Squids evolve to get larger and faster to avoid being eaten. Sperm whales evolve to dive deeper and hold their breath longer to hunt more squids. Both push each other to their limits. And this is where convergent evolution can become a weakness. When two species converge on the same solution, they often share the same vulnerabilities. Both giant and colossal squids are vulnerable to sperm whales. Same predator, same problem. Here's something most people don't realize. Giant and colossal squids will never meet. Not because they live in different oceans, though that's part of it, but because they live at different depths. Giant squids inhabit the midnight zone, roughly 1,000 to 3,000 meters deep. Still dark, still cold, but not the deepest parts of the ocean. Colossal squids live in the abyssal zone, 3,000 to 6,000 meters deep, thousands of meters deeper. Different pressure, different temperature, different prey. They're like two kingdoms separated by an invisible wall of depth. Even if a giant squid somehow ended up in Antarctic waters, it would never encounter a colossal squid. They're vertically separated. It's almost sad to think about. These two massive squids, the only creatures on Earth to reach this size, will never know the other exists. They'll never meet, never compete, never interact. And maybe that's okay, because if they did meet, they'd probably just eat each other. Asked 8. Convergence beyond squids. But this isn't just about squids. Convergent evolution is everywhere, and seeing it in multiple contexts helps us understand the rules. Look at ichthyosaurs, ancient marine reptiles that looked almost exactly like dolphins. Streamlined bodies, dorsal fins, tail flukes. But they were reptiles, not mammals. Completely different lineage. Same ocean problem, same solution. Or sharks and tuna. Both fish, but different kinds. Sharks are cartilaginous, tuna are bony, yet both evolved nearly identical torpedo-shaped bodies and crescent-shaped tail fins for fast swimming. Convergent evolution. Even on land. Marsupial wolves in Australia looked and hunted like placental wolves in North America. despite being as related to each other as we are to kangaroos. Different continents, different lineages, same predator design. Evolution keeps reusing successful designs because the laws of physics and biology constrain the possibilities. There are only so many ways to swim fast, hunt efficiently, or dominate an ecosystem, and evolution finds those optimal solutions over and over again. So, here's the big question. Could evolution create a third giant squid? What would it take? You'd need the right environment. Deep, dark, and either very cold or very stable. You'd need a squid lineage that's not already giant. And you'd need millions of years. There are candidates. The Dana octopus squid, which is short and wide, reaching around 350 pounds. Not truly giant, but bigger than most squids. Or the robust clubhook squid, which can grow to 13 feet. These species show early signs of gigantism. They're not at giant or colossal levels yet, but the trajectory is there. If you placed a population of these squids in a deep, cold, prey-rich environment and waited a few million years, you might see something emerge. Maybe an enormous squid, or titanic squid. I'm not great with names, but you get the idea. Evolution would probably push them toward the same body plan. Massive eyes, powerful beak, long tentacles, thick body. Because that's what works. And that's the thing about convergent evolution. It's predictable. The environment writes the rules, and evolution follows them. Get big, get strong, get smart enough to catch prey. These rules don't change, so the solutions don't change either. We started with a simple question. Why did evolution make the same giant animal twice? And the answer is, because it had no choice. Giant squids and colossal squids faced similar challenges. Darkness, depth, armored prey. No corners to trap food. The only way to survive as a predator in that environment is to be big, have massive eyes, have powerful weapons, and be efficient. Evolution tried different paths, deep sea gigantism for giants, polar gigantism for colossals, but both paths led to the same destination. They're separated by taxonomy, by ocean, by depth. One evolved in temperate waters, the other in Antarctic ice. They've never met, they never will, and yet, they're almost identical in function. Same eyes, same beak, same tentacles, same strategy, different details, same blueprint. That's convergent evolution. It's not about copying, it's about constraints. The ocean demands certain things from its apex predators, and evolution delivers every time. Across millions of years and countless lineages, whether it's giant squids or colossal squids or some future species we haven't discovered yet, the pattern will repeat, because the rules don't change. And maybe that's the most profound lesson. Evolution isn't random. It's constrained by physics, by chemistry, by the fundamental realities of how bodies move through water, and how predators catch prey. Within those constraints, there are optimal solutions. And evolution finds them over and over again, building the same giant monsters in oceans, separated by time and space. If this journey through convergent evolution changed how you see the giants of the deep, subscribe and join us. As we uncover more patterns evolution can't escape, the ocean has more secrets, and we're just getting started.